Hey Ash, all things dentistry, and welcome to another episode. This is just an answer to Mr. Lopez, and he saw a video that I placed just a few days ago but it was really my ideas and what I've been taught about glide path management. And in that video, I was using VTaper, so from SS White, and it's a minimalist, more conservative type of endodontic file, and it's a great file. I love it. And I was using this orifice opener. So he was asking, what is this orifice opener? And I thought, why not? Let's talk about a few different orifice openers and compare it. So this orifice opener, according to the label, has a 17 millimeters of cutting length. It's got a 25 tip, and it's got an 09 taper. But what's really cool about it, and like most of our files today, it's got shape memory. So it's very flexible. Put that over my nose. And it allows you to be able to place it into the canal if you don't have straight line access. So here's a video just showing you kind of its use in one of the dental education laboratory teeth, and I'm just bending it there to be able to get it into the MB2 orifice, and we'll just move the tooth around, and you can take a look here. You can see it's just doing its regular job as an orifice opener. So one of the key things is with orifice opening is to make sure you don't fracture that tip. So a lot of different orifice openers have different sizes of tips, and what you can tell, let's take a look here at a few different files. Stop that, friend. Let's go back. Let's compare that to ProTaper SX. So ProTaper SX, a lot of people know about it. It's fairly standard, and this is the old school one, and it has a 19 cutting tip. It has a convex triangular shape. I'm going to show you a little picture just about that in a second. It has a maximum fluid diameter of 1.2 millimeters, but it's stiff as a board, and it doesn't have a lot of shape memory. So they came out, they heat treated the nickel titanium, and now we have the SX Gold. And look at the bend on that; it's amazing. Put it over my nose so you can see it. It's got such a great shape memory. So it's essentially the same file, same cross-sectional diameter, but it's just got a different heat treating on it. I found this old school Micro Mega, like it's got a 12 taper. I mean, look at that. That's actually a diving board. So with regards to orifice opener, the idea of orifice opening is to be able to get your irrigants into your canal starting at the starting of your root canal, to be able to act as a lubricant, to start the digestion of vital material, and also killing some bacteria. So it's really important that what you do is you make sure that you don't fracture the tip. Now, like I said, this is a 19 tip, and I've broken one of these, and it is extremely frustrating. But why did I break it? That is the question. And what I believe it is called torsional fatigue. So torsional fatigue is essentially what happens is, using my coffee cups, is that if this is our root canal and this is our file, what happens is as we're cleaning and shaping, spinning our file down, our flutes get filled with debris. And at some point, if we're not cleaning the debris, they become filled and increase the friction of our file. So what happens is, look at this, I can't even move this because now we've got a lot of friction. So that's the same idea here, is that we fill the flutes with debris, they keep spinning in the canal, and what happens is at some point, the friction is so much that it is too great for the spinning file, and as the file keeps rotating, the tip stops. So that tip was shared to me by actually Dr. McSpadden's son. I was on the phone with him a year ago, and I couldn't believe it. That really explains to me what is friction, why we have torsional fatigue. So it's really important. One of the key things when you're dealing with endodontics, but especially your orifice opener, because if you're not making sure that the coronal piece, part of the canal, is open with a hand file, just like a 10 file, you may bind and fracture that file. So one of the tips that I've been doing recently for the last 3 years is actually using my Wave 1 Gold as this isn't about, look at me, this is about something that's really simple for general dentists to use as an orifice opener, is my Wave 1 Gold. This is a file I've been using for a long time. I don't make any money off of this. So this is a calcified canal. As you can see right here, it's tooth number 2-1. It's slightly calcified. I wouldn't call it heavily calcified. But what I did was, once we got down to this point with our mud spurs, I took a 10 file, made sure that I was in the canal, and breathed a sigh of relief. And then I just used my Wave 1 Gold to the coronal 2/3. You can see I'm just going the coronal 2/3. In my mind is just the D16 of the cutting flutes right there. So I'm stopping my file right at the this is a 16 point. Oh, about to die. So I do that a few times, and boom, now you can see I have my orifice open. Now I can place some irrigant in there, and now I can also tackle the apical 2/3 and get my working length. So in a nutshell, I hope that helps. I added a little bit in there just about orifice openers because there's a lot of different things that are, every file system has its own orifice openers. So one of the things I can say for advice is practice on extracted teeth or plastic teeth. You can look at the shape, you can look at the length, but at the end of it, it's how does it operate for you in your clinical situation. So you need to just practice with it. So hopefully that helps. Cheers. Oh, and I totally forgot. Put your comments below and subscribe to stay in the know. Cheers.